Welcome to Bothering the Band. On this episode, we have Avery Leigh Draut of Night Palace, fantastic band based out of Athens, Georgia, and New York City. And man, we laugh in this episode. So buckle up. It's a lovely night. It's a great episode. The intro doesn't do it justice. Hi, Avery.
How's it going?
It's going quite well. How are you doing?
I am great. I'm it's dark outside, so I'm sleepy, but besides that, we're good.
Oh, well, we know that game. Thank you for doing Bothering the Band. Welcome.
Cool.
My name's Ryan. This is my producer, Abby. Not mine. She's the producer, not mine.
Of course.
Not possessive at all. It's 2022. I need to correct that. How do you say your last name?
Do you want to guess first?
I would love to guess.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, my inclination was Drought or Draught.
Amazingly, you're right. It is Drought, like no rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Someone really made a choice with that one. But
yeah, what do you know, like the story behind your name?
No, just some kind of French German stuff going on there, and that's as far as I've ever gotten. So
I'm writing it out phonetically right now.
I love it. Yeah, I always say it's like sauerkraut,
yeah,
but it's Strout. Just another nice reference.
Well, from a person with a last name that often gets butchered, I know what you're going through. So I tried to go like straight on.
Yeah. Most people do say Draut or Drant, which there's no N in it. So that's a curious one.
Yeah, I get a couple extra syllables in mine. Abby, do you ever get anything besides Lavy?
So I also use a food. My last name's Lavy, so I say Lavy like gravy.
Amazing. Yeah. Here we are together. A gorgeous meal.
I
love it. I don't get to say food stuff. Mine's just like I don't ever correct anyone.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Where are you at in the world right now?
I'm in Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. I am back and forth a lot between here and New York.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So just drove back a couple of days ago. So.
Cool. I have a book here about the musical history of Athens, Georgia, somewhere.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, we have a couple cool questions regarding that. So we've already started. This is the podcast.
We're in it. That's great. I felt like we were in it. So we're ready.
Yeah. So I have 3 names. Do you ever use all 3 of your names?
I use all 3 of my names every moment, to the point where it is constantly confusing everyone, and I apologize to everyone for that. So yeah,
it's cool. It's a cool name.
Own it. Make them apologize for not knowing.
It's Avery Leigh Draut, but it's just my middle name. But I've because the band used to be called Avery Leigh's Night Palace, which was just a mouthful. Like now people refer to me as Avery Leigh, or will which I love, but I just feel bad because it, they don't have to. So yes, 3 names, 2 names. It's all happening.
Oh, it's very cool. Avery Leigh Draut's Night Palace should be on, that's the shirt.
Yeah, there is a shirt somewhere that.
Oh, very cool. We love t-shirts here. We always post about them.
Yeah.
So back to the name thing. I don't know why this made me think of draft or bottle.
Wait, okay. If we're talking about beer, I'll tell you, I don't care about any beer on earth.
Okay.
So it's just it's I just think that it tastes like I don't know. I'm just going to describe what the process of beer is. It just I can tell that it's fermented wheat, and then I'm like, it's too much for me. So,
are you allergic to gluten? Do you not drink, or you just hate beer?
I, for some reason, just have never been able to get on board with beer.
Okay.
I love a gin.
Oh.
I love whatever, any kind of, I don't know, like a red wine. But yeah, beer just never really took. So
That's a splendid, insightful answer into who you are. What about now they're doing wine on tap? I worked
Oh,
at a place in New York that had wine on tap and it blew people's minds.
sure. That sounds like it would blow people's minds. Yeah.
Yes, but it was
Yeah.
very easy. It was the
Yeah.
easiest place to work ever. Have you had either of you had wine on tap?
No,
Wow.
Yes.
I've had canned wine, but I guess that's old news now. Canned wine's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had box wine?
2 days ago. 2 days ago. I have box wine in my kitchen right now. I went to this local cheese shop, obviously, that my friend works in, and I had never been in before, and it was my birthday, so I was just going all out, and that meant obviously buying like anything that anyone suggested to me. And so someone was like, "Oh, this boxed wine is good," and so now we have it, and it is true. It was tasty, and I don't know too much about wine, but I didn't wake up with a headache the next day, so I love that.
That's so. When was your birthday?
It was January 15th.
Oh wow! Happy belated
So-
birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, so the wine sat around in the box unopened for a while, and was opened last week. So
Are you at all into zodiac signs? Do you buy into that?
I love the culture, if you will. I can't claim to know too much. All I know is that I'm a triple Capricorn, and that causes people to say, "How are you not dead yet?" So
Oh wow!
yeah.
So what is the triple? How do you become like triple? I don't understand.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
Is that your
this is-
third life?
No, well, sure. This is like very basic. Like, I don't even know. So I'm explaining to you when really someone else should be explaining to all of us. But you have your like sun sign, which is like the sign I think that everyone's always talking about, which is Capricorn. And then you have your rising, which I'm also a Capricorn in that. And then you have whatever the other one is. And I'm also a Capricorn in that. And so people, my friends have looked at my birth chart and then been like, wow, this is very, very rare.
How have you not been murdered?
Exactly. Or like,
Okay.
yeah, how am I still here? I don't know.
I had that happen to me one time where someone did it. I'm not big on that. And they were like, it literally says you will die by being murdered. And I was like,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
great. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah, that is nice. Just nice to get that out of the way early on.
Yeah. I was like, when? They're like, we don't know that part. So
Yeah.
I can't even avoid it. What's your favorite shape?
Okay. We have to go with a 7-point star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those like a little starburst ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Very
that's
cool.
the answer.
Very specific. I like that you had one ready.
Well, I've been like, as we all do, are like posting on Instagram all the time or whatever. And so I started going to this website, I think it's igfonts.com, where then you can like copy and paste in like little, like the weird fonts and like the little shapes and like wingdings and stuff into your Instagram posts. And so I found, this little star, and then I was like, well, unfortunately, I have to go to this website and copy this into all of my Instagram posts from here on out. So just a way that I make things harder for myself, I think.
I wonder what Bothering the Band can do on IG fonts to liven up our posts.
Yeah, I can send you all some ideas. They've got a lot of crazy stuff out there. So
Yeah, you hear that, everyone listening? Follow us for the new fonts. The organ or the opera?
Oh, opera. I think if we're picking between, that's tough. But I will tell you, the organ in my living room right now, which is what I wrote most of our stuff on, is maybe like on the chopping block. It's like,
Oh no, I've read so
know.
much about this organ.
I know. I'm like, unfortunately, I mentioned this every time anyone's ever asked me about anything. So now it's coming to haunt me. Yeah, it's sitting in there right now, but it's the electronics have started to go bad, like, to no one's surprise. It's from like, 1970, whatever. And so the drum machine, it skips. So it'll be like, doom, and I'm like, okay, this is, so it's not really reliable for recording or playing anymore. And you turn it on and you like play a chord and it'll be like it starts like a, sorry for these sounds, starts like, you know, like a half a pitch, like sharp, and then settles into the, so it's definitely showing its age, but it's hard to let go. So I'm not sure what her fate is necessarily.
Will you keep her as a decorative piece?
Right now, it's definitely a decorative piece situation. I live in like a super tiny little house that like barely has a living room. And so it is definitely like the thing that takes up the most space in there. And sometimes we turn it on, have little dance parties, you know, still, but yeah, I think I'm not ready to say goodbye yet, but yeah, just y'all are the first to know. The organ may be on.
Wow, you heard it here. Breaking news. Man.
Yeah.
When's the last time do you ever just sing opera throughout the day?
Yeah, it had been a long minute since I had, but then actually like a couple times over the past couple months, I have been just here at the house alone and kind of been like, and then just like, you know, tried it out and been like, oh yeah, okay, I can still sing opera. Okay, that's nice.
I mean, it's not, you tell me, I don't know anything about it, but it doesn't seem like a casual, I sing in the morning or the shower or while I'm making breakfast type of vocalization.
Yeah, you definitely can. I think like, and I've lived, you know, like in houses of like two other like opera singing roommates, and there's definitely plenty of singing in the shower that goes on. Like, I think maybe that's the best place to warm up, just like with the humidity and like,
Yeah.
you know, it's moving everything out from last night that like, you know, slept, you know, and everything's like stuck and whatever. But yeah, definitely like is not like quiet and casual, but yeah.
Do you have any rituals to like warm up your voice?
You know, I kind of don't. And it's interesting because I noticed that obviously when I do warm up, as we all can guess, like I sing better, you know, but if I'm singing an opera, then I definitely do, you know, throughout the day, like I'll start with like humming at some early hour and that type of thing, and like work into actual kind of vocalizes throughout the end, you know, like before the actual performance, maybe like an hour before. But I find that I kind of test it throughout the day in these little kind of blips. But if I have like a Night Palace show, then I'm just kind of like, oh, here we go, you know.
Okay.
I think I kind of like underestimate it because I'm like, you know, like, oh, I'm always warm, you know, or whatever. But
you're like, I'm a pro. I got
yeah.
this shit.
And then the joke's on me because I'm like, oh, that sounded bad a second ago. So
You look in the mirror, that mirror in the back, you do like hand pistols, and you're like, here we go.
yeah, absolutely. That's the warm up. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hand pistols. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a great segue. What's your favorite style or genre of music to listen to?
I feel like it's ever shifting. I definitely go through periods of time where I get like super stuck. I'll listen to like the same Chet Baker album over and over for like 2 years, you know, but yeah, I guess I listen to, you know, a lot of things that fall under like the broad category of like, you know, indie pop or, you know, all of those tangential little things. But I do love things that go a little wily, like a little wilier than the stuff that I have ever written, really, like which I think falls, you know, kind of solidly in something that's like listenable, you know. I mean, not that the other things aren't, but like I love like a little experimental, like little weirdo flair, you know, to a lot of different genres, I think. So
I just, as a fan and, you know, diving in, I think it's fascinating to hear what your favorite musicians also listen to. So that's why we asked that question. What did you listen to today?
Today, let's see. That's a great question. I listened to Francois Hardy. I just like am in a kick with her. I also like just started, I used to do Duolingo French for like, you know, 6 months, and then obviously forgot it existed for like a year. And now I'm like, oh right, remember when I like did that every day for like 6 months. So I'm back. And so I'm listening to like a lot of like little French, French music. And I listened to Locate S1 today, which is this person, Christina Schneider's music project, who's like totally super weird and amazing.
How do you say it? Locate, like location?
Yeah, Locate
S1?
S1. Yeah. And I think they're going on tour soon, opening for of Montreal, which is rad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And our keyboard player that we play with a lot, Jojo, plays with, I think, both of those projects as well. So yeah, she's an Athens person. Christina is. Yeah, and then Kat LeBon, her new stuff.
Yeah, I listened to that one.
Yeah, I'm super excited about. So yeah.
So far,
what
so
did you
good.
listen to today?
Oh, what did I listen to today? I listened to your Spotify, just popped it on, getting ready a couple of times. I have a ritual, usually in the morning and then maybe about an hour before the interview, to get into it. I listened to the new Big Thief this morning as well.
Oh, great. Cool.
And then I'm missing something, but there's
I know, yeah. Me too.
always something odd. Can you believe there's people in the world that don't listen to music? That is wild to me.
Yeah, I know. Although I have a couple friends who like just sing so much opera, like more than I do, to where they're just like, and I've been in those periods too where they're studying music so much. I guess it's different than somebody who isn't like a musician and doesn't listen to music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but,
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, like people who are like super swamped in like, all of this music that they're learning all the time, and then like don't turn on, anything to listen to for like months at a time, which is wild. I feel like I've definitely been there too. But it's just kooky the way the brain needs to hear things and then needs to like hear silence.
Yeah. I do not like silence at all. So I need something on TV, something. I just realized I listened to the Little Mermaid Broadway musical soundtrack today.
Why
not? So
is that just like part of your ritual as well? Just
no. My daughter is in the play. She's she's only 7. And so we put it on.
That's
today.
So cool. That's so fun.
I took her to rehearsal.
I used to teach little kids voice lessons. And so that was like my wheelhouse, teaching a 7-year-old Little Mermaid. So dear to my heart. It's
wild. Whoever is doing it, because I mean, aside from listening to it, she knows all the shit. And it's not because of me. Aside from pressing play. All right. What time do you go to bed at night?
This varies, but like early. I mean, obviously, I think I'm either like, oh, it's 9 p.m. It's time to get the fuck to sleep, or I'm like, now it's 3 a.m. and I'm like sending emails. So
yeah,
those are my 2 modes mostly.
I would bet that's normal.
Yeah.
Like if you polled a bunch of people, I bet you that would be a constant thread.
Yeah.
Do you wake up go ahead? Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I know. I think about people who have like super set schedules, and I'm like, wow, that is really a different life, where it's like, oh, I get up and I go, and I've obviously also had jobs where I'm like, I get up and I go at 8 a.m, and it's like, and then you're right, I still either go to sleep early or go to sleep at 3 a.m. So I guess it's just the way it is. But
as you'll find out, we ask very hard-hitting, in-depth questions like, do you wake up every night to go pee?
No, and I literally hate when I do. So then I will
worst.
I will starve myself of water. I will dehydrate myself instead of being like, now I'm gonna have to go get up and pee. So like in the last 2 hours before bed, like, sorry, if I'm thirsty, I'm not taking a sip of water. So that's where I go with that. So cheers.
Abby, do you wake up to pee?
Rarely, but I will go if I have to, I guess.
Oh,
I won't not drink water.
I'll wait till the last minute till it legit hurts and I can't sleep anymore. Like, oh.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if I wake up and I'm like, okay, all right, we're going to do this and it's fine. But yeah, I do the same thing on long car rides where I'm just like, unfortunately, body, we're going to drive for the next 6 hours and not stop. So no water for you. So pray for me.
Oh my goodness. Do you garden?
I wish I gardened. I have a few plants inside. Maybe they once totaled 12. Now they total maybe 6. Just, sometimes the plants have to die. And yeah, so I would love to garden. My dad is a beautiful gardener. My mom keeps like a million plants alive inside their house. But yeah, I will look at a plant day after day and be like, oh, you look like you need water. And I don't always water the plant. So
Is that a plant or a cactus behind you on that table?
yeah, that's a snake plant that's been watered one time in the past 4 months, I think.
Okay.
If I had to guess. Yeah. So she's doing great.
Go water it right now. It's like your spite. Like you're like, if I don't get to drink water before bed, you don't either.
Then nobody does. None of us are getting water. Yeah, I did water. I watered the 6 plants in the kitchen earlier. After my boyfriend Zach was like, hey, are you gonna water these? I was like, oh, I thought you were watering those. Like neither of us thinks the other one is watering them, but we know that we're not watering them, I guess. And I thought about this one. I thought about snake plant and I was like, I can't make it to the bedroom with this water. And then I thought about talking with my friend Stephanie. Yeah, like I'm never gonna make it. And my friend Steph was like, oh, well, like snake plants are fine because they're basically cacti, like, but we don't like brand them as that. So like you don't have to water it. And I said, okay. So,
I mean, 4 months, it seems to be, I can't tell, but it seems to be doing okay.
It really is doing okay. And it's honestly fascinating. So
is it a cactus though? Like, is it in the same family?
That's the intel from Steph, if you will. But
shout out to Steph, the plant whisperer.
Yes, absolutely. Plant whisperer. I haven't done the research myself. I'm relying on others' research, but I definitely will water this plant after this.
Yeah, I have this written down. Is it Steph with a F or Steph with a PH?
A PH. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the correct way to spell Steph.
Yeah. It continues on to Stephanie, after.
Yeah. REM or B-52s?
Oh my God. I was a late REM bloomer, I have to say. But this is really tough. I think that it has to be B-52s just for the sheer like kookiness, and the playfulness. And we love a good Athens to New York connection. But yeah, I didn't really know, kind of shamefully, about REM. I mean, I obviously knew about REM, but I had never like really listened or like, whatever, until I took this class. I went to college in Athens here and took this class that was called Music in Athens. And it was like basically just like the history of, that like heyday time here. And that's when I was like, oh shit, REM is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's when I joined the rest of the world. In probably 2012.
I wish the book is here somewhere. I just don't want to put everyone on hold and dig for it, but
we'll
post it.
Is it Inside Out or whatever? Is that book that
maybe?
Probably, yeah. That's like kind of the one, and I read it for that class too. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, Johnny was like on the couch at the Barber Street house, and you're like, sure, okay.
Let me ask you this, and is very dumb. I passed through Athens when I was, I think in high school or college, with a friend of mine. We were traveling, and when we took a photo in front of it's a dog, right? Like that's the bulldog.
Yeah,
it's a bulldog, right? The statue was covered in Vaseline. Why is that? Like we went to like do this and pose, but mind you, this is like 2000, so we had disposable cameras, and we were like, what the hell is all over it? And it was a sunny day.
Wow.
And it was covered in goop.
That is not anything I've ever been privy to, I have to say.
You're not the first person I've asked about this, and you're not the first person to like, I have no idea. Something with the metal, maybe, because it was
Wow.
Sounds
That's
like
so
some kind of
bizarre.
prank.
or a
Yeah,
prank.
that's what I was thinking too. Is I was like, it sounds like there was like a football game, and then
Yeah.
the other team was like, oh, let's do this to this, statue or whatever. But yeah, I don't
It was
know.
very well. They only pranked two like 18-year-old kids.
I love that is your lasting memory of,
That's
of, of Athens, Georgia.
it's
That's
like,
like
what's on this dog?
so sad.
Well, you're correcting that memory now, so
Oh,
thank
great.
you.
Love it.
What's the last thing you broke?
Oh my God. I feel like I break things all the time. Oh, this can't be the last thing I broke, but my phone screen certainly is cracked at this moment. But that was a while ago. It's hanging on. I'm gonna think about this for a second because I feel like I used to like think I was like kind of a graceful person, and then over the past like 5 years, I just like run into things and break things, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is just who I am now. Yeah, maybe it's phone screen, and
Maybe it's phone screen.
unless
Well, I hope I'm not even gonna say it.
oh,
I'm
thank
not
you.
even gonna say it. Let's just keep going here.
Yeah, just move on.
Have you ever been to Minneapolis?
I think so. I've been on a couple. I don't even have the excuse of being like, oh, I was touring for a month. Like the cities just like blend together.
Yeah.
I just went on a couple like 2-week tours in like 2013 with my friend Eric Bachman and his band. And I think we went to Minneapolis, but I would have to look it up to be sure, because sometimes you're just along for the ride,
Yeah.
and you're like, here we are in this city.
So another thing, when I'm doing research for the interviews, it's a lot of stream of consciousness at first, kind of like listening to songs and throwing dumb shit out there. And I for some reason I thought of this. There's a cool bookstore in Minneapolis called Moon Palace Books. And,
oh my God.
and I was that there's no point to this other than go there next time.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I am constantly like finding other like night and moon and star palaces. There's one in Cancun that comes up a lot when I Google, I'll be like, oh, Night Palace. Like maybe somebody wrote something about our single, and it'll just be like Moon Palace 3 Cancun. And it looks like a fancy hotel in Cancun.
You should do a show there.
That would be amazing. We're going to just give them a ring.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that comes up all the time is Sonic the Hedgehog, who apparently has like one of these like later iterations of Sonic is called Night Palace. And I didn't know when I named the band. And Sonic the Hedgehog was with me in like early childhood, which is wild. Like in preschool, the daycare I went to, all of the boys were always playing Sonic the Hedgehog, whatever the game is. I don't remember. I know that's like his name, but maybe it's also the name of the game. Yeah, they were always playing Sonic. And so I'm like not mad about it. It feels kind of full circle, but it also really is like, okay, I named my band straight up just a video game. And I don't know anything about any video games. So it feels a little off brand, but also kind of right.
Yeah, it didn't come up in my multiple Google searches.
Interesting. I think it's when I leave off the band, it'll just be like Night Palace, and then it's like, Sonic the Hedgehog Night Palace and like the 7 rings, something about rings.
It actually is. It's
yes. Wait, you found it?
It looks like it's actually the name of a level in a game called Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yes. See, easy to find. If you try to look for it.
Specifically, I put Sonic the Hedgehog in the search, which I'm sure Ryan didn't do.
Yeah. I did. Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah. I'll go on YouTube and be like, me, and like I'll just look up our own videos or whatever to send to somebody, and then like it'll just be, you know, a bunch of Sonic like
It
interspersed.
is. The first 4 are
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
videos of people playing the game.
I feel like it wasn't like that when because you know, when you pick a band name, you're like, I better Google this 800 times and make sure, you know, that I'm fine with what comes up. And because our band name before Avery Lee's Night Palace, was Wanda, which is Wanda, stylized all caps. And after that was like super not Googleable. And there was like this Austrian band named Wanda. So I was like, never again. And now I have Sonic. So
It's still not bad.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
We
It's
were
not
going to
like
call
a
this
band.
podcast Dave Matthews Podcast, but
I love that. Yeah. I don't
we
see
were like,
any
I think someone has it. Oh man, when's the last time you listened to Dave Matthews Band?
I literally cannot recall.
I feel like that if you go to a college in the South, you have to listen to it, like before you get in. Like on the admissions, you have to write your favorite Dave Matthews song.
I did. Yeah, I did have to. And luckily, in high school
Abby had to. She had to write.
Yeah.
Dance
You went to
country
school in the
music.
South as well. Yeah. So we were all there, you know, it's like, you know, it's kind of like the easy, like weeding out question, you know, it's like, if you go wrong there. But I dated this guy in high school. If you're like dating, I don't know, you know, whatever. And he turned out later to be
Dave Matthews.
well, never mind. He turned out later to be Dave Matthews. So I aced it. I got into every school in the South. But yeah, I didn't give a shit.
He was in high school, but he was 35.
He was just like getting his honorary, you know, like whatever. Like
He was Billy Madison.
Yeah. So anyway, the story is I didn't care about Dave Matthews at all. And then he loved Dave Matthews. And so for like Valentine's Day or his birthday or something, I got us Dave Matthews tickets. And I remember having one of those moments in my life where I was like, this really isn't right. We were like standing, like hugging, like in like, you know, outside of this amphitheater at a Dave Matthews show. And he just like looked at me and I was like, and then I was like, I can't do this. That lasted like 4 months.
I was going to say, did you break up with him right then? You looked at each other like right in the middle of a love song. You're like, it's over.
Yeah. He was playing like Crash and I just was like, I have to go. No, he actually, yeah, he got me like fake roses each of the 4 months. And I think that those roses are still in my parents' house to this day. So. Oh,
that is a great question to put in the quill of questions. Something along the lines with like, what's still at your parents' house?
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's loads of fun. You got to find them next time you go to your folks' house.
I will. There's also somewhere, I think at some point my dad was like cleaning out my like high school room when they were moving, and I think he found just like an entire like collection of like love letters, if you will, or just like, you know, just like really embarrassing, like, you know, letters from boys. And,
wow, she's just bragging now. She's like, oh yeah, all these.
By that I mean like there were two boys, you know, and they were really avid writers. So anyway, yeah, I remember my dad texting me or something, or like setting them out on my bed and being like, oh, I found the letters from Chris also. So if you need those, they're over there. And I was like,
who's Chris?
You know,
when do you think about this?
Yeah, it was Chris. Yeah, responsible for a lot of my music tastes to this day, I will say. Thank you, Chris.
Is so many follow-up questions. When's the last time you spoke to Chris?
Chris and I are still pals.
Great. Shout out to Chris. He's a big listener.
Yeah, he'll be listening. Yeah. Though, yeah, we haven't like gotten a good hang in, you know, in some years, but definitely like a neighborhood, you know, ongoing close friend of high school years. But yeah. I want to say he came to our show in Athens sometime within the past year. So
very cool. That's great story. Bring it all back around. Nostalgia. Sometimes Abby will send me like a photograph taken of pictures of me in middle school with
Yes,
braces.
that is nice. That's nice.
It's not.
We all need that. Someone to do that for us.
I'm
One
like, oh
day
my
I'm
God.
going to put them on the podcast Instagram.
When we get
Yeah.
Spotify money, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to Spotify.
Yeah. And Odyssey now.
Yeah, always has been, you know.
Oh man, my neck was so long. I don't know why. I didn't hunch
It's
as
the
much.
hair. It was
Yeah,
like
it's the hair.
That's good.
Oh goodness. Next question. What do you enjoy most about the moon?
Oh my God, I love it. I love this question. Wow, this is really good.
The way it shines, the way it sparkles, when it's a crescent,
Yeah, I have to say
the tide.
that we love tides. We love moons and tides. Have you all heard of moons and stars and tides? I don't know if you have. I love when the moon is a tiny little like crescent that is so much like so brightly glowing. I sound hilarious. I love when the moon is the big orange moon. What is it called? You know, when it's like, oh, it's the super
Like
moon
a
or
blood
something.
or something.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Sometimes I look up like, you know, lunar phases and like full moons and which one they are and like the harvest moon and the blood moon, and then I forget it all and then I look it up again 3 months later. So I'm in a forgotten moment right now. So but yeah, we love everything about her.
Oh, another like song based question, very silly, very loose song based question. Have you ever been wakeboarding?
Yes, I have, and it honestly wasn't for me. You know, when you like go, you're like in middle school or high school, oh God, and you're like on like a church trip, you know, and you're in the boat and they're all like, oh, Avery, it's your turn next, you try. And you're like, oh no, that's okay, it's okay. And yeah,
And then they
skiing,
make you.
they really make you, and you're like, listen, I'm fine, just chilling, just let me like swim in the water, you know, whatever. Yeah, so I want to say wakeboarding, similar experience. Skiing, water skiing, definitely fell, you know, so many times. I give me a wave runner and I'm happy, you know.
Everyone listen to the amazing song Into the Wake Mystified. That's where it's a great song that inspired a very silly, dumb question. Why? So now if you were in a boat and peer pressured to wakeboard, would you be more inclined to stand up for yourself and say, no, like, fuck you, I'm not wake, or less inclined?
Yeah, I think it's a no. I mean, unless I had a wild hair and I was like, you know, this does sound fun. But yeah, I definitely have seen this with roller coasters with me, because for some godforsaken reason, like when I was in high school or something, I was like, oh, I want to be cool or whatever. So I like made myself ride the roller coasters, and now I would literally never do that. You know, like you think that I'm going to get on that and like get whiplash and like have a headache, like of my own accord. It's not happening. So I think the same could apply to the wakeboard. Yeah. Just
yeah. If we
maybe
could go back in
drive the
time
boat.
and tell ourselves, don't listen to the bully church kids telling you to wakeboard.
There's more to this lock-in than wakeboarding.
Oh, this question came to me today because it happened and I regretted it. If someone knocks on your door unannounced, do you open it?
This question is more like pertinent than you could ever know. I've been in this little house for like a while, and one time somebody knocked on the door at like 1 a.m. and I just like obviously lost my shit. I was just like,
Yeah.
no, I was here alone. I was like, oh my God, you know, I totally lost it. Like called my boyfriend, he like drove over, and it was obviously totally fine, and the person left. I feel
Was
like
it like a drunk person or?
I think maybe, yeah, or somebody like, you know, just wandering about. But yeah, I feel like you weren't going like a haunted way with this question. You were just like,
No.
oh, but then
This
I
was at
like,
like 1 PM.
yeah, no, but then I was like, listen to my haunting experience. But yeah, if it's the middle of the day, there's a knock, I am going to the door. Even if it's just because I read that, if someone's like wanting to like break into houses, they'll like go knock, and if you don't answer, they'll be like, sweet, and then they'll be like, great,
Yeah.
nobody's home. I don't think I'm ever getting robbed. Just putting that out there.
Yes, I hope so. I hope not too. Oh, I'm so curious what happened with the person who knocked at 1. They just disappeared?
Yeah, because I didn't go to the door. So I was like,
Yeah,
absolutely not,
obviously.
I was like, no. So I think it, took Zach probably like 8 minutes to get over here. And then when he was here, the person was gone. So yeah.
8 minutes. That's pretty quick. What a
Yeah, it
hero.
was pretty quick. Yeah. It's like a little highway that connects.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Because you, as a half New Yorker, kind of like myself, if let's say it's 1 AM and someone buzzes your apartment, do you open the front door to the building?
So I have never had a functioning buzzer in New York, so a little bit easier for me.
That's classic.
Yeah. I definitely had a situation where I would like open the window and throw out the set of keys. Like when my friend got there, they'd like call me and I'd just throw the keys down. But yeah, I think that's a little different. I've always been like less freaky about being alone when I'm home in New York, because you're like in these, like apartments of a
way
million
different.
people. Yeah. And here I'm like, but yeah, in New York, I feel like I ignore, I would ignore. And then if it persists, go ahead and be like, hi, who is it? But
yeah.
Or
just say, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then if it's someone they're going to be like, it's Frank or whatever.
It's Frank. And honestly, if Frank, he's probably texting before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what got me is I was like, who is here? And it was just a neighbor, but
yeah, neighbors will pull that on you sometimes.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, I'm saying, hey, I'm being friendly. And you're like, oh, okay.
I do want to like it though. Like I want to appreciate it, but then the modern text, whatever in me is like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I would have done nothing differently, but
for some reason it's different.
What are you thankful for today?
Today, let's see. I'm thankful for, I'm looking at this candle and I'm like, everyone knows when you have a candle lit, you can't be stressed. So we're thankful for the candle.
Yes, that's a fact. That's a scientific fact.
Yeah.
What is it? A scented candle?
It is. Yeah. It's scented. It's like Christmas pine scented.
Ooh,
and that's just like my jam year round.
Year round Christmas pine.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's the name of your Christmas album.
It is. I'm really ready for a Christmas album. I have a lot of conflicting feelings about.
But not covers. It's original Christmas music.
Yes. With titles like The Scented Candle.
Year-round Christmas pine.
Year-round Christmas pine, exactly.
Yeah.
Deck
the snake tree.
What's the snake tree?
Isn't that what your snake plant or whatever it's
called? Oh, yeah, snake plant. For some reason, snake tree was giving me like, I don't know, Garden of Eden vibes. I was like, oh.
I was trying to do a callback to the plant shit, but
I got it.
Yep.
But in earnest, let's see. I'm grateful that this album is coming out. I just am so thrilled. I've had it, going on for so long, like just years at this point, and just trying to, wait till the right little home was found to put it out and like assemble the little team of people who are doing such an amazing job helping with it. So I'm just like super, super excited about that and grateful for that happening. And I'm grateful for like 57-degree weather in Georgia in February as well.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Abby is what are you checking your temp? What's your temp, Abby? She's in Wyoming.
Okay, great.
19.
Oh my God.
That's not as bad as it was like yesterday morning.
My condolences
Thank
to
you.
guys.
At what time of the day do you feel most creative?
I think right now, nighttime.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm in that kind of cycle where sometimes I'll like start getting ready for bed and then I'm like, oh, unfortunately, I feel like I could like write a song right now. And then it's like, okay, now we're on, this whole thing. But sometimes it's the morning. I feel like, the morning is a good idea, like if you can make yourself like get up and start, a ritual of doing that. But I feel like just practically lately, I just haven't been doing that. And so it's feeling a little bit random these
Mhm.
days. But
I wonder, we've asked this question a few times and I like it, but I wonder if anyone's going to be like noon.
yeah.
It's only morning or night. Like
Yeah, I
that's
do wonder
it.
that as well.
I wonder
Yeah.
if someone's like, I really like, 12:30, 1 p.m.
Yeah, they're like, when I get to 2 p.m., those creative juices just get flowing and then they're done at 5.
Yeah, right after a heavy lunch.
You just settle right in. Yeah. I did. I was in an afternoon spell for a while though, because I was like sharing this tiny bungalow, if you will, with a roommate. And so we would both just like, we were just within 10 feet of each other at all times. And so for the beginning, for most of the pandemic so far, I would like get up and like, have some coffee and whatever, and then like go to my car and I would call it car office.
Nice.
And I would just drive sometimes with like a little keyboard, usually just with my phone, and drive to various parking lots where I would sit and hold car office, which was, just my way to not literally be in a house 24/7 with someone else. So I would sit in like the School of Music parking lot here, or like the top of the parking deck, or the parking lot of the Botanical Gardens. For some reason, I wouldn't get out and actually go into them to work. I would just be like, great, now it's car office, but the flowers are nice, over there. So
I love car office. Oh, that's gonna pop up in my life.
yeah, I feel like it's
So
gonna
I
come
love
back.
it.
It's gonna make a comeback soon.
That's the name of a song. There you go.
Yeah.
What's your grandmother's name?
Her name is Sarah Herbert.
With the H? Sarah with the H?
Yeah, with an H.
Not
Mhm.
Herbert with an H.
Also Herbert with an H. Yeah, 2 H's.
Sarah Herbert, double H.
Yes. Yeah, she Sarah Draut Herbert. Yeah, she's got a few last names there. But yeah.
Did you have a name for your grandmother's Buick?
Oh, no, it's just the Bew,
Okay.
just the
Oh,
Bew.
see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There you
guess
go.
it's technically a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing really got demolished by like a farming truck. Yeah, like a year ago. I was like driving down this road. I was in this phase of buying a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. It was like that point in the pandemic where I was like, I'm gonna go drive around collecting things to put in my house. So Athens is like super close to just farmland. And so I just like was driving down this highway one day and so you're like 55 or something, and this like farming truck, I don't know what a farming truck is, but it's like a Mack, like had a Mack front and then like the big back with the wooden whatever. And it just rolled through a stop sign and I was like, oh, this is not stopping. And they're just gonna hit my car. And so I like swerved to the left really hard and we hit the car, or we hit the truck, and it totaled the car. And but we were both okay, me and Zach. So yeah, that's the cheerful ending to the Buick. But
Oh, what a bummer. I'm glad you guys are okay though.
yeah, absolutely. It was like, super wild. I'm very glad as well that, so.
Yeah. Excellent answer. All your fans are definitely getting to know you, especially for this next question. Do you have an air fryer?
No air fryer.
Oh, you haven't.
I feel like you've maybe thought maybe you would have guessed that I would, but I have friends who have the air fryer, and I am loving tangentially to experience it. Like I went over to my friend Olivia's apartment the other day, and I had these like, I had a leftover, what was it? It was like pad thai, or something. It was pad see ew. and she put it in a pocket of aluminum foil, like folded up the pocket and put it in the air fryer. And it was so delicious. And so I'm amazed by it, but yeah, I don't plan on investing. I have a microwave that I like found on the street. So that's what we're rolling with over here.
Nice. I love a good street microwave.
Yeah, they've been through it and they'll keep going through it. So.
Oh, and out of context, my notes are hilarious.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh,
Car office, Sonic the Hedgehog, street microwave. Oh, what was your first job?
Okay. I want to say you would think that I would like know the answer to this super quickly. I think that my first job was I was a valet at a hospital emergency room. So just like
sounds like the fanciest hospital ever. They have valets at hospitals?
I know, it wasn't fancy at all. It was in Snellville, Georgia. And it was like 5 minutes from my house and in high school. And I would just drive over there and I just worked with all these men who were valets at other places too. But first I don't even remember how I got this job, but I wore this hideous polo. It was like, had the driving, like the valet company on it.
Was it far too big for you too?
It was huge. It was huge, but honestly, that was like the better choice because if it had been like tiny and then the shorts that I had to wear were like Bermuda length. Okay. So they were like hitting right above the knee and they were a bit fitted. So I was like, well, we can't have like a tiny polo and these like fitted Bermuda shorts. So I went oversized with the shirt. I was not looking good. But it was fun. I appreciated the people that I worked with. And my mom ended up like teaching a bunch of them to drive stick, so anyway, long lasting relationships. Shout out to Nick.
Nick, who learned to drive stick. I could never get a valet job because I didn't learn how to drive stick.
Here's what I'm picturing now. Like people are coming to the ER in like a mass panic. They like pull up and like jump out of the car and run inside for an emergency. And then you just like go and park it. And then later it shows up on the bill because the hospital bill is everything. And they're just like, haha, got you.
Luckily, so people thought that's what was going to happen. And so I literally could not convince people to let me park their car. They would pull up and like their like partner's like bleeding in the driver's seat. They've driven themselves to the hospital because they don't obviously want to pay for an ambulance and like, their arms in a sling or whatever. And then I run up and I'm like, hi, I'm very happy to park your car. It's free of charge. No need to tip, we're all good. And they'd be like, no, I don't have any money. And I'd be like, I promise that it's free. Totally fine. I can park it right over there. And they'd be like, no. And nobody believed that it was actually free. And I see why,
Yeah,
it was so weird. So we would like beg people basically to like let us park their cars because we would stand there for 2 hours and we weren't allowed to sit. So we're just standing in our ugly outfits on the curb by the emergency room. And like people come up, they park their own cars, and like, yeah, I think there were some days where we only parked like 3 cars,
Did you see anything crazy? I don't know. Like
not, you would think, not that I remember. It was mostly just like, people who were at the level of emergency where they could get themselves to the hospital at least, so it wasn't like we didn't
second heart attacks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So didn't see anything like, terribly traumatizing. But yeah, it was just that was a wild one for sure. That job.
That is a wild first job, a job in general. Whoever is like, listen, you know what this hospital needs? Valets. That guy or that person is a dreamer.
I know. And it's super wild. It was just like this hospital in the middle of Snellville, Georgia, that was like, we have 3 valet attendants on at all time. And like, I think that it did get cut shortly after I stopped working there because they certainly aren't there anymore.
That's bananas. Okay, we have a couple more funny, dumb, silly questions. Do you take your shoes off when you fly?
Uh, so I've never thought of this as like a polarizing question before, but the way that you just said it, I was like, oh, maybe it's a little weird if I say yes.
There's no judgment and no wrong answer.
So generally no, but I
But
will
yes.
do like, but yes, I'll do the halfway where I'll like, undo the laces and maybe inch the foot out a little bit, but it's not like out in the open.
You're not putting your feet up or walking to the bathroom with no shoes?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No, not walking to the bathroom with no shoes. I actually, in my way that I've already told y'all about, I generally like try to avoid the bathroom on flights. I promise I don't have a weird bathroom thing, but where I'm like, I won't pee at night. Like I won't pee on a car trip. I guess
only pee between noon and 1 p.m.
I'm really hearing myself say this and I'm like, okay.
We won't edit it to make that a focus of this podcast.
Do what you need to do. Journalism, it's cutthroat. But yeah, I will say when I did tear a ligament in my foot like over the summer and in my ankle, and so during those times I did take my shoes off because it would swell and get uncomfortable. But yeah, I actually don't remember the last time that I peed on a flight. So
I just see like clickbait headline, like which singer songwriter doesn't take her or like won't ever use the bathroom.
She hasn't peed in 30 years.
It's so weird. Oh man. I was gonna ask something else. Do you think it's okay for some people to take their shoes off on a plane and not others?
No, I think everybody can do what they need to do in my book.
I have to disagree. I think
if
you're like a bigger gentleman and you got crazy feet, you shouldn't be flashing those.
Crazy feet. I mean, I'm definitely.
Have you ever seen like an old guy's feet? The toes are all yellow and they look like the Alps.
See, I will say I've been imagining.
She just, for those listeners, she just threw up in her mouth.
No, I've been imagining sock feet. And sock feet are cute, like we like sock feet. So
yeah,
it's a little different with the naked foot. Obviously, I just swallowed a hair or something.
Don't drink any water. It's too late in the daytime.
Yeah. Oh my God. 9 p.m. We're cutting it close with this limoncello.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Sock feet. I'm just going to answer the question about sock feet. And the answer is yes.
Okay. Sock feet allowed. Okay. I'm hoping you saw these films.
I may not have. I'll preface with that, but continue.
I was trying to think of, A Knight's Tale or The Dark Knight?
A Knight's Tale.
Do you know what that is?
A Knight's Tale is, I'm thinking of a Princess Bride. Bride. Knight's Tale is, I'm really
both are with Heath Ledger.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, this is why you're asking this.
Well, I was the Night Palace. I'm really stretching it here.
No, we're going with Knight's Tale, which I sort of remember. And yes, people have asked before if it's night, because of palace, the word palace follows it, and I really didn't think about it, but yeah.
I was trying to think of like the play on word question, and I couldn't do anything but movies. Abby, you look like you have something.
I'm just surprised those are the two that you went with.
Let's okay. What other movies? What other pop culture like entities have night?
A Night at the Museum.
Haven't seen it.
Any of them? There's like 10.
I was going for KN, like the different one,
that's true.
Right. I'm just doing a quick Google image of Knight's Tale to just place it in my brain as to what I think it is.
I mean, now thinking about it, it's a very old film. It's
It
20
really,
years
that's
old.
what I was
That's
thinking though, is I was like, is it that old movie? And it is.
Listen, that's one of Deb's favorite movies. So she's gonna be very happy with this discussion.
Deb is Abby's mom.
Yay.
Shout out to Deb. She's
Yeah.
number one fan.
Amazing.
And apparently she loves A Knight's Tale.
She loves it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a good movie. I love it.
anything with like a Shakespearean, like medieval aesthetic, I'm saying yes. So
Okay. Nice. Oh, we got to end this by saying good night.
yeah.
Nailed it.
Good
Yay.
night. Yeah.
What's the most ridiculous fact you know?
Oh my God. I'm really okay.
You have one, or you're
No, this it's the synthesizing. It's failing me on the most ridiculous fact I know. Is that what you said?
sure, or random? I'm trying to think of one for myself and I can't. It's a tough question. You don't have to answer it either.
Koala bears have fingerprints.
Wow.
That's wild.
Wow. I'm gonna give it like 10 more seconds over here.
There's this musician, Night Palace. She hasn't peed in 30 years.
Yes.
Google it.
Since the day I was born.
Since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
All right, we'll skip it. That's
okay.
no worries at all. So I'm gonna follow up this question with a little something else. Best thing in your opinion about being a musician in New York City?
I mean, I feel like this is a pretty standard answer, but like the amount of music that's going on and like the inspiration, and then I'm like, any given day, the city that never sleeps, you can find, amazing things to see. And so I feel like, things that in Athens were like the cross section of my interests, which I also obviously love Athens, but the amount of like genres and like diversity of music and everything that exists in New York is just like so wild. And so I think that, that along with like the same thing with like collaborators, that there's so many people to make things with, who are all incredible. So
we've had so many musicians from New York. I love New York so much. That is my home. I'm not there now, but Abby, so much in the beginning, especially that Abby did. She was like, oh, enough. We get it. New York's great. But
yeah,
for the first time this summer, we're doing a live show, I think in your borough.
God. I was in Bushwick. Now I'm in Chinatown.
Oh, you're in the city now. Okay. So
just barely hanging on.
We're doing a live show at Littlefield in Brooklyn.
Oh.
And that'll be Abby's first time in New York City. So I'm making her arrive a few days earlier so I can show her around.
Yes.
And if you are there at the same time, we would love to have you come to the show.
Yeah.
We haven't told many people about it, so when this comes out in a couple months, we'll probably have more headway. But what is it, July 24th? It's a Sunday at Littlefield. Yeah. Cool. And we're going to have musicians and comedians doing exactly this, but more of a talk show feel, answering a lot of silly questions and then playing afterwards. So
wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a load of fun, but more so I'm looking forward to like showing her, like taking her on the subway.
Yeah.
And then like having her sit on like my old stoop and trick a 40. And
where do you live there in New York?
In New York, I used to live uptown on the Upper East Side.
Okay, cool. Nice.
I lived in Brooklyn for a summer, but I'm a city boy. I'm an uptown boy, like Billy Joel.
Cool. Yeah, my Chinatown spot is like a family friend's apartment who she has an extra bedroom. So when I'm there, then I'm there. And so that's how that works out. But yeah, that sounds amazing. I've never been to Littlefield and I like have wanted to for 800 years. So yeah, cool.
Well, we'll remind you, and we'll remind everyone listening. But for you right now, remind everyone where they can. Well, first of all, tell us what's next for you for Night Palace.
We have, I guess, a single coming out depending on when, just in a couple weeks. And that is Titania. And my friend has described it as Shakespeare spice, like a Spice Girl, but like it's Shakespeare spice, And so
I love that.
I'm gonna take on the aesthetic. And then the album's out April 1st. We'll do a little tour in April that's being kind of finalized right now. And then hopefully more in June. We're playing South by in March. And then more. So yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Got a lot of stuff. Tell the listeners where they can find you, Instagram, all that jazz.
Yeah. On Instagram, we're Night Palace Band. And you can be like our 17th Twitter follower if you find us on there.
Let's do it right now.
Yay. I think it's just Night Palace. I don't even remember what it is. Night Palace like _ or something. We'll see.
Okay.
And then we're on, Apple Music and Spotify and everything.
Oh, and no, you have 46 followers.
Oh my God, it's just skyrocketing.
Now you have 47.
Yes.
From personal and Bothering the Band. That said, everyone go follow Bothering the Band. We probably have like 47 too.
Yes, amazing. We're all gonna just go viral tonight.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And then we have our vinyl available on Bandcamp. So.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, yeah. Avery, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
That's our interview. As you can see, like, that's it. That's Bothering the Band. Thank you so much for doing this.
Fruit curtain takes the cake. You know it's